Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Coffee Rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. You have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary. Go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion. Guys, I don't even really know how to explain all this, but we're going to give it the old college try today. First, just wanted to bring out here, just say right off the bat, get out and vote. Make sure you vote, as your voice does matter in this world. Get out and vote, and make sure you cast your ballot, whether you like to do it early or on the day. No matter how you do it, just do it. Okay, guys, so we got a lot to discuss tonight. So, couple things. So interestingly, we keep seeing prices go through the roof. As we've seen some things level off in the grocery stores, we've seen others where they have just gone way up in price. One of the biggest ones that we've seen as of recent, that we've been getting a lot of our viewers chiming in on this one, has been paper products. We've been talking about paper products for a while. It's been a little bit. I feel like every time we take a break from talking about something, that's when we see the price increases raise their ugly faces again. And now it looks like toilet paper, paper plates, paper towels, lots of paper products that are going up in price right now. A lot of our viewers have been talking about this. And, once I get 2 or 3 or even 4 comments, especially this is why I like everybody abbreviating their state, because, we see that it's not just a one state problem, it's a multiple problem. And one thing that I think is actually worse than we originally thought is trucking. A lot of transportation has had a lot of issues with shortages of drivers. It appears to be a growing issue. A lot of things are contracts. A lot of these places don't want to pay a lot of money. There are still a lot of trucking companies that are only getting like half freights. Well, I don't know and half freights for especially like a owner-operator can be pretty devastating, because you've spent an absolute fortune on a truck, right, that you're paying, it's hard for you to pay off. So a lot of these products, they're having to raise prices on transportation and stuff like that, not just because of gas prices. I was trying to figure this out, because we've seen gas prices kind of level off, even come down some. Now, I will say this, I did see our gas prices go up overnight. Now, when I was at Sam's Club yesterday, I did manage to squeeze in. I saw it for $2.49, and I was like, better fill up. I was about half a tank, but I was like, I'm filling up anyway. And it's a good thing I did, because I see where it has gone up to $3.19. Most gas stations around here were at $2.75 there for a few days. We were telling people to go fill up, right? That is the cheapest we've seen since the last election. Well, looks like that is over, and now gas prices are starting to go back up, which is very unfortunate. And if this has not hit your state yet, I would make sure and go fill up, so you can at least save a few dollars while it is still cheaper. The funny thing is before it made the unbelievable drop to $2.75, $3.19 was what it was at before. And that kind of tells me, this was the election thing. Well, usually that lasts a day or two after the election. Not the case here in Cincinnati. So, I don't know. Glad I was able to fill up at Sam's Club. That is another good reason, if you're a member of Sam's Club or Costco, their gas is always a little cheaper. In this case, it was a lot cheaper. So before we get into the main thing, I wanted to talk a little bit about this. One of our longtime viewers had mentioned that the average cost for one human for food a month is about $306. And I was kind of crunching the numbers in there. I was kind of doing like what we add up and eat. And I'll tell you what, for $306 for an individual, that means that you're eating pretty frugal. I remember years ago, now it's been a long time since I've really put much thought into that or really done the math. I do the math all the time, but you kind of wave with the times. Okay, so what I did was I tried to factor in, okay, if your bill is $306 a month on groceries, And they had said that's, she had said that that's not including some things, which I understand that. But yeah, if you're including like laundry detergent, toiletries, stuff like that, it's a lot more than $306 a month. I mean, if we're just talking food, well, the average person, I believe, eats a little more than when I was figuring this out like years ago, like 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I had figured that the average person ate about $10 a day, right? And that's including cheap fast food. I was kind of, factoring in what like meals were, and putting together meals. And obviously, if you cook yourself, that's how you can really be frugal and get some of those prices down. That's almost how we have to shop today. And I started figuring, like, if you and your spouse, as most of you know, it's just me and Jess. If you are eating $10 a day, that is $20 a day. That is over $600 a month just in food for two people. You add a kid or two into that, you're adding a lot more. Kids eat a lot. And I mean, if your parents, and you know what I'm talking about, I mean, even years ago when families and friends were talking about all this stuff, and how expensive things were getting back then, 10 years ago, look at what it is now. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And the numbers that and again, this is no fact. This is just my crunching a few different numbers. Me and Jess frugally are able to spend 500 to 600 a month on food, sometimes way less. And this is why I talk about buying up the sales as you see them, because at some point you will be eating out of your own pantry and you notice yourself saving a lot more money that way. Right. And real quick, before I keep going into this here, everything that you're always going to eat, put forward. Always pull things forward. If you are stocking up on canned goods or these kind of things, somebody had mentioned the other day that they had stuff way back in their pantry, and some of the best of use by dates were over. And I thought of that. Something that we do is we always make once a week, usually once a week, like Saturday, when I'm not as busy as I am throughout the week. I'll go in and I'll move everything forward. Move everything forward. Because the number one thing that we don't want to do in this day and age is waste anything. And that's, with everything, with the recalls and all that stuff going on, it's like, even another reason why I always say take it back, because in some way it is going to get wasted because it's on recall. But at the same time, you're getting your money back and hopefully solving the solution hopefully creating the solution at the same time. Right? Because if these companies are paying back millions and millions and millions of dollars, there's one of two things that are going to happen. They're going to change the way they do business, or they're going to go out of business. Okay, so that is what we need to happen for the course correction of the downfall of the complete collapse in the food crisis here. I mean, it is just unbelievable how much this stuff is impacting. Like, we keep reading about other items that are getting put on these recalls. We had said that this was going to happen. I don't feel like I really need to explain it all over again, because, the broken record effect here. I don't want to, keep repeating everything. But at the same time, we sort of have to on some things, because new people who are coming to the channel, if I sound like I'm repeating myself a lot, well, that's why. Because we have a lot of new people coming to the channel every day, and I want to make sure that everybody is not only aware, but any kind of new updates on things, we want to make sure that we bring that to you as well. So back to the food prices on things and saving money, which is darn hard to do today. It really is. It is. You really have to think outside the box. I think we're kind of thinking the way that like our elders have from years and years and years ago, where we kind of have to put things together in a way to where it's not only in the means of our budget, but we have to think ahead for the future. We have to make sure that we are stocked up on things within the means of your budget. And I understand that I don't know how some people do it today, because when you are as frugal as I am at the grocery store, me and Jess, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And when you don't have your paper coupons, and then I understand a lot of people don't want to do digital coupons. We've been getting a lot of comments of people having trouble with digital coupons at Kroger lately. Another reason why I always say do this stuff at home, guys. Don't go to Kroger or any place where you need to put in digital coupons where you have to use that little scanny thing. Do this before you go shopping. Do this before you go to the grocery store. Now, usually when I go to Kroger, usually at the start of the week, because I want, everybody to see the sales before, get a whole week, of what the sales are going to be. Usually what happens, because this question has come up a lot in the comments, so I'm going to answer it. Me and Jess usually go to Kroger on Friday. Right, and I kind of recommend everybody do that because you have the opportunity to get the 4 times fuel points, which adds to your gas. In a world where gas prices and everything else seem to keep going up, it will help you save a little bit more as well. So, moving, let us know down in the comments, what kind of money do you spend a month on food? Now, I'm not talking, all the different added things. I know everybody probably eats out once or twice a month or maybe more. We try to not eat out at all. We'll have, a pizza or something like that, every now and then. But for a while there, me and Jess, it was like every Friday we were getting a pizza. And it's like we're trying to stay away from that now because for one, it's so expensive. It's not as healthy for you. And you have all these products that companies are selling to, that are putting in other product, that ingredients that companies are selling to other companies, that are, the recalls have just gotten ridiculous. They have gotten insane. I mean, and I've said this a lot, and again, here comes the broken record. I never knew how much Bruce Pack really affected the world, the country at least, the U.S. I never realized how big that company was, because that's all they do is basically cook meats and sell the meats to companies like other companies like El Monterey and so, Great Value, all these other different products that are being made. That meat has gone to these companies. So everywhere where that listeria has been a concern is a lot more concerning now, because it's like it is affecting so much stuff. Hundreds of products at Walmart are on recall because of Bruce Pack. I don't know. And, somebody mentioned the other day something about the Taylor Farms. That stuff is still up in the air. I mean, there's no 100% on everything. I know that they keep bouncing the question back and forth. I feel like it's most definitely the onions. They've brought that up, as we're not serving the onions. Kind of tells me that is probably the problem. But we've never said, directly. I guess they've ruled out the meat. I think it is I think it is the onions, right? That's what they've all said. So hopefully either they cut ties. There's been issues with Taylor Farms for over the last couple years. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were a few different recalls through Taylor Farms. And I know things happen. I know when you deal with fresh vegetables, when you deal with fresh produce, and then you add, slicing and dicing yourself, and then you package it and ship it out, you do run the risk of things like this. My issue with it all is the consistency of how it's happening. It's like every day there's something new. Every day. I've been looking and looking and looking, and I haven't seen no updates to give. I'm sure that something has been on recall, but either if it has, then it hasn't shown up yet. But I am paying attention, and we'll update you guys on this as we go along. But to have 2 days where it seems like we're at a pause of something happening, I feel is like a breath of fresh air. Like I don't have any bad news to deliver on that today, and that's awesome. That is great. And don't hold your breath, but we'll see. I mean, I am doing this video in the middle of the afternoon here, so, a lot can happen, might happen as we're talking. I find a lot of things happen when I do these videos, and then I have to put out an update as soon as I finish this one because something will happen, and that's a shame, and it needs to get corrected. get your money back. If you have to return anything, make sure you get your money back for these recalls. Do not throw it away, or at least call them and see if they'll give you your money back, and then you just pitch it, right? If that's what they want. I understand some companies want you to do that. So if that's what you need to do, just make sure you're getting your money back or a replacement, in the future. I mean, that's fine too. Usually it might be a good idea, to see if you can get a replacement in the future if it's something that you eat all the time, because the prices might go up the next time you go. Now, that wouldn't matter because you would still get that product no matter what the price it is. You would probably just get it for free because you had it on recall. I know Jif Peanut Butter was doing that. The problem with Jif Peanut Butter is that recall lasted so long, it was like, okay, yeah, I got my jar of peanut butter a year later from the recall. A lot of people were doing that. They were all, I know some places, not that I know of around here, but I know some of you were talking about that, and some of you had actually exchanged that for your money back eventually, because after months and months of no Jif peanut butter, yeah. We can't forget, guys. We can't forget about these things. I know I have hung on to that Jif peanut butter thing here for years, but I use that as an example of how long these things can actually stay on recall. Look at the cinnamon. I know, broken record again, but look at the cinnamon. I don't even think Supreme Tradition will ever sell cinnamon again, at least not at Dollar Tree. We'll see. They still have the recall notices everywhere. Every Dollar Tree I've gone to. I even saw a Dollar Tree that I went to where they didn't have a recall notice, that recently they do have one. So that tells me that, okay, well, it's still in effect. And a lot of other ground cinnamon was recalled as well. Some hasn't been. Some has reached, I guess, no levels, because that is the level now. It used to be like the 10 parts per billion of lead in the cinnamon. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think there has to be no lead at all. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they measure that or gauge that. Maybe by weight or something. I don't know. Take a magnet and see if the lead sticks to the bottle. Some people were saying that. But guys, on to the next thing that I wanted to discuss is the things that we are seeing. Now, I have noticed a significant price increase in some paper products around here, like paper plates and stuff like that. I did want to kind of get back to this for just a second. But any kind of plasticware, anything that has plastic in it is going to be going up in price. For whatever reason, well, it could be a multitude of reasons, but that's another thing we've gotten a slew of comments on, is a lot of plastic cups, a lot of plasticware. Excuse me. And all these things have been going up in price. Even store brands. I've noticed, like Kroger. We cover food on the channel. I should probably, I try to cover as much as I can. I know I haven't really covered things like paper products and stuff like that lately, but we need to. We need to start checking that stuff out again. I used to do 2 visits to Kroger a week just for these kind of things, but trying to do more things and cover a lot more stuff, that makes it kind of hard to do, because we are constantly trying to save people money in the grocery stores, because it is outrageous. And talking about, I was so glad one of our longtime viewers had mentioned this about what people are paying in the grocery stores, because yeah, when you look at the grand scheme of it all, it's a fortune. And if you're only spending $306 on your food for the month, then you're actually doing pretty good, because you're keeping it at $10 a day. Now, again, that, I understand that doesn't include laundry detergent and all that stuff. We start including that stuff. I don't know. One number I threw off the top of my head is about $400 to $450 a month. If you are being as frugal as possible and adding that extra $100 a month for everything else you need. Toothpaste, toilet paper, soap, different things. Obviously, that's another reason why we talk about buying up the sales, because when you start adding that up over the course of a month, it gets less and less. Take that regular price, okay? If you want to figure it out for yourself, take that regular price, write it down, okay? You got your Dial 12-bar soap for $12.99 or whatever crazy price it is now. You can get it on sale for $8.99. Add that extra few dollars. Okay, it's just an example, but I that's what I noticed that sale recently. And you start adding that up, all these little things over the course of a year really add up. It really does. You will save thousands Thousands. We do. I mean, you know, and it's not, it's a job. It's like an actual job to try and save money these days. But when you look at it that way, you know, you're working to save money. And and that's just the way it is these days. It really is. I mean, it stinks, but, you know, unless you don't mind just throwing money away. And no judgment here, though, okay? You shop how you want to shop. You do what you want to do, okay? I'm not telling you how to do things. I'm telling you how we do things. So on to the next thing that I want to discuss is we're getting into winter here. Okay, we're getting into winter. Things are, we know that meat prices are going up. We know chicken prices are going up. Meat prices are going up. Coffee is going up. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I am speaking to all the people that have not heard this message or haven't realized that, coffee has pretty much gone up everywhere. Everywhere. And they blind you by the sales because you see the sales. Like, oh, wow, $7.99. Did you realize that it just went up $2 a can? And sales are going to be less and less as we go along. I don't know, guys. Really, it comes down to make sure you're looking out for you and your family. Right? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking out for my friends, my family, my YouTube family on here, and we're just doing the best we can to get by and help each other together. Make sure you're always checking on your friends. Everybody knows that one person that, is all, maybe by themselves, maybe doesn't have anybody, maybe likes being alone, right? But still check on them, make sure they're getting by, make sure everything's all right, because everybody has that friend or family member where it's like, maybe I should check in on Uncle Johnny. I don't have an Uncle Johnny. I'm just saying, because these times are crazy, and it's not just food going up in price, guys. I know we always talk about food, but it's other things too. And I'm going to save that for another coffee rant that I am basically putting some research together, but we have some interesting things that we need to discuss tomorrow night that I'm going to have in a future coffee rant video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Have a happy Halloween. Halloween is tomorrow, and then according to Jess, it's Christmas on Friday, so we'll be taking down decorations and trying to add some light into the darkness here. Try to add some fun. Christmas stuff. We'll be checking out different holiday stuff and stuff like that during the day, as I have become Dr. Jekyll in the morning and Mr. Hyde at night. We have the light and the darkness, and somewhere we try to meet in the middle. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.